So I wanted to come on here and make a TikTok about the current status of what's happening in Russia, Ukraine, and Eastern Europe, because this is very personal to me, as I have family in Ukraine currently, and most of my family is from Ukraine. So as many of you may know, Russia is currently preparing for an armed invasion into Eastern Ukraine. Now, to give you a little background, Ukraine used to be part of the Soviet Union when Russia used to control much of the Eastern European land. And back at the end of the Cold War, following the fall of the Berlin Wall, Ukraine became an independent entity, an independent country. Since then, Vladimir Putin in Russia, since Vladimir Putin took over, has wanted to essentially recreate this imperialistic empire that the Soviet Union once was. And part of his plan is to take over neighboring countries like Ukraine, Latvia, Poland, Estonia, and others. And in 2014, Putin invaded part of Crimea, which was the border between Ukraine and Russia. And since then, Ukraine and Russia have been in this Cold War type of stance where neither country is invading one another, but they're in conflict. And recently, Putin came out with a directive to the United States and other Western countries saying that either you can commit to not expanding NATO, which is an alliance between the United States and other Western countries to protect themselves, or I'm going to invade Ukraine. Now, obviously, this ultimatum did not go over well with the United States and other countries, and many rejected this ultimatum. And recently, the United States pulled out all embassy officials from Ukraine because of the pending invasion. Now, why would Putin want this part of Ukraine or Ukraine in general? Strategically, the Donbas region of Ukraine has a lot of strategic advantages for importing, exporting goods, as well as natural gas and oil. And for many years, Russia, through Germany, has been able to control what has come in and out of Ukraine, including natural gas. And this region, taking over this region, will help enrich Russia even more. Unfortunately, right now, many in Ukraine are suffering from a humanitarian crisis. My family reports that people are suffering. There's no food on the shelves. There's no natural gas, hot water, electricity in most areas. It's really bad. Now, no one knows if Russia is actually going to invade Ukraine, but all reports point to yes. So follow along as I report back of what my family is saying, as well as what the news is saying about this potential humanitarian crisis and invasion.